Hello and welcome to episode 97 of the Late Invoices show. I'm Matt and I'm joined by my co-host Cameron. And on today's show with...
Wow, you didn't even stop for me to say hello, bro. Carry on,
Hello.
go.
And on today's show, we are talking about getting over the winter slump and how to get back on your horse. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Back on your horse?
Yeah, get back on the horse. Episode 97. How's it going? How's your week been? We are recording this, for those listening, on a Monday morning. I'm about to head into London for a couple of shoots, and I've got to go to Manchester as well later in the week. So it's,
I love you.
Yeah, it's going to be... I'm not near you, mate. I'm not coming to Blackpool.
Mate, you know when you say Manchester, it's basically down the road. Like,
no, it's not. You're in Blackpool.
Manchester
Cameron
is
lives
where
in Blackpool Tower.
Manchester is basically where... You know, like when you used to live somewhere for so long that it's like, oh yeah, I'm just from Manchester, like... Yeah. Oh, you're in Manchester. Oh, it's only an hour drive away. I'll just come and see you. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Depends how cold it is, though, Matt, if you're...
No, it's an in-and-out jobby, mate. Although,
okay.
So my call time is 8 a.m, I think. So I'm going to have to go up the night before because, you know, it's a good 3-hour drive for me, or nearly a 2-hour train.
Are you coming up in your Tesla?
No, I think I'll just get the train. But anywho, yeah. So it's we're getting this episode done on Monday morning, the day before it comes out. So, how was your weekend, Cam? All good?
Yeah, man, it's good. It's good. I went to a motorbike show with my dad. I can't remember the name of it because I don't ride motorbikes, but yeah, like it was really, really good. I've decided. So, for anybody that rides motorbikes or has any knowledge on them, there's the new Norton bikes that I think are coming out this year. That was pretty sick. That was like the Aston Martin of motorbikes. So I was like, it's also quite expensive. And then the other one was a Triumph. My dad has a Triumph motorbike, and he used to have a Kawasaki H2, which is like was a really sporty bike. And so I got to like sit on the bikes, compare all this stuff, and I think I'm like a classic Triumph kind of like motorbike person. Like the ones that look like they're from the future and they look like a Transformers bike, I'm like, they're cool, but like there's too much going on. Whereas it doesn't look so it was really good, man. Really enjoyed it. And also just spend some time with my dad. Like as you said, like going to New York with yours and stuff, like my dad's really, really into motorbikes, and so it was good to buy tickets together and go. And so I was more like the naive person that doesn't know anything about motorbike, and my dad was like taking me around and telling me everything, and I'm like,
that's good,
this is sick.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. So it was a lot of fun, but also knackered at the end of it. You know, when you've been walking around and like all your body hurts and everything, and you're like, right. So I had a good sleep. My eyes look a bit swollen, I think, and it's cold today. It gets dark like earlier, and it also...
Cameron's eyes look swollen because he's not usually up at this time. This is like...
Mate, what are you talking about? I get up at 7 a.m. every day, and I've been doing that for the last 7 weeks.
I'm proud
2 months nearly. Thanks, man. Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
You messaged me last week, I think, at 7, and I answered you straight away, and I thought, I hope Matt notices this.
I didn't notice, but...
Yeah. But what about you, man?
Yeah, all good, bro. Weekend was just super chilled. I feel very kind of flat. I think it's the season's changing. It's dark. Like I feel tired. I felt really tired at the weekend, and got a gym session in on Saturday with Yaz. Mate, Saturday night, we were in bed by like 9:30, 10, and we literally slept for like nearly 9 hours each. We were just like...
Need that recovery, you see.
Yeah, and then we went for like a nice 5K walk yesterday, which was nice, and just to get the legs moving because I'm very sore. Yeah.
You guys are very active. Gym and then a 5K walk.
Basically, as of today, we've started this competition. So from the 17th of November to the 17th of December, we're going to do a contest to see out of the two of us who does the most 10K step days in the next month, and whoever wins gets a £100 voucher to wherever they choose.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so it's a decent prize, right? Because we're both like, look, we need to get more steps in. Also, it's hard, and I feel like it's hard in winter to do that, and there's not enough light in the day and all that kind of stuff. So we are trying to. We know it's good for us. We know it's good to lower stress and just get steps in and just generally get a bit more healthy and keep this puppy fat off. That's getting onto me. So.
I can just imagine, I can imagine you're on a meeting and you're just doing laps around your desk because you're like, I've got to get the steps on, I've got to hit this 10K.
I've got one of those walking treadmills.
Oh,
It arrived last week. Just because I was like, I've been struggling with my morning routine, and I get up, right. It's 6 o'clock, half six, and it's like it's raining, it's windy, it's dark. I don't want to go outside for a walk, especially in the pitch black. And I've got my like Lumi sun lamp, whatever, that I have on in the morning. Well, I was like, well, I could just get steps in on this treadmill, have that light on me, and just watch some YouTube for like the first like 20 minutes while I'm up. So at least I'm getting some steps in. I'm moving my body. I'm getting that light in my eyes, so my circadian rhythm's being set nicely, and it's like a good little morning routine. So that's like my new thing. So I'm watching YouTube, and I'm on the treadmill for like 20 minutes. And it's like this, mate. You just pick it up and move it around. It's like this portable walking
it folds,
pad. It's super light.
Yeah,
it doesn't fold. It doesn't fold, but it's like super small.
Okay.
And yeah, I've just been doing that in the morning. So hopefully that'll help me win this competition between the two of us. So that starts today. And
I'm rooting for it.
I'm determined to win because I want that £100 voucher. I haven't decided where yet, but probably some new gym kit or something like that.
Oh,
or an
that could be quite nice.
Yeah. But yeah, mate. So other than that, and then I've got a busy week ahead. Like I say, we've got a shoot in London. I'm going to London today. We've got a pre-light this afternoon, and then I'm on set. I think 7 a.m. tomorrow all day. Studio in Holborn, and then I'm in Manchester. I think I'm waiting to hear back. I'm in Manchester on Thursday, and I'll probably have to go up the night before because it's a super early call time. So busy week ahead, and I think the edits will be some quick turnaround time. So yeah, man. And I've already got all my social posts to go out this week ready to go. Got a couple of carousels. Did a personal shoot last week, the running shoot. So I've got a reel ready to go for that, and I've got the carousel post ready to go.
Okay.
So I'm excited to share those photos.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, all good. Can't
Another
complain.
personal shoot, bro. Damn. How many would that have been for this year? Have you done like 5?
No, I think it's more than that. I don't know. I'm going to count. So the goal is to do one more before the end of the year. And I said on the personal shoot on Tuesday, I was like, I think this is my last one, man, outside this year. Because it was really cold and the talent was cold. Even though we're doing running stuff, like even between takes and walking around and stuff, they were getting really cold. And I was just like, man, like studio stuff. Obviously, when you're shooting runners we were at a running track. So, it needs to be on the running track, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the next one I'm gonna try and do is in studio, just because it's it's cozy, it's warm.
Well, you've got the treadmill now.
Coffee.
You've got the portable treadmill. Like they can run on the treadmill. It's
fine. So yeah, I might try and get a studio session in before the end of the year. Personal.
Okay. I think it's interesting that you've done so many personal projects because it's almost like that thing of like, when you I'm thinking from the listener's perspective that you're doing so many personal projects and it's like what's that word, like it's kind of you're doing like the walk, I guess,
practicing what I preach.
Exactly. Yeah,
I'm the one that preaches about personal projects. So
exactly.
So I can't be seen to do personal projects all the time. No, I just think it's like super concisely clear way to put it is that a lot of the commercial work I do, I love doing it. It might not always super align with the level that I think I can put out because of budget or because of this or that or whatever I'm shooting. So I'm very particular about what I post on my socials. I post and create the kind of work that I want to get hired for. So me going out and doing a shoot with some runners on a running track and shooting it and editing it the exact way that I want to, or getting in a studio and shooting like an on-spec campaign the exact way I want to, means that I can then create content around that for Reels and social, which is my marketing strategy, as you all know. And then I can post about it, the final images, and they can sit in my portfolio. And it's exactly the kind of work that I'm capable of putting out and that I want to put out and want to get hired for. So that's why I'm very, particular about kind of the work.
It's like a win. It's a win in multiple areas, except sending an invoice. So if you can do it, but that will bring the money.
It costs me money, like it costs me money to hire an assistant for the shoot and this and that. But yeah, I could talk about that for hours. But I think that's essentially why I've done so many this year, and I think it's been really helpful and really good. And because some of the commercial work you do, like you might not have shot it in that way, or there might not be enough budget to light it how you think it should be lit and how you would go about it to a level that is like up here. It might be here, but it could be up here. And I'm always trying to push for that. And I think, that's why, I'm starting to get people ask me now, like, oh, why haven't you posted the photos from our shoot? It's like this pressure that people are putting on me that I've got to post the photos from the commercial work I do. And it's like, there's no offense to the shoot. I love the shoot and I'm really happy with the images, but they might not completely align with like the Nike campaign that I want to get hired for and I want to push out.
That's like you saying to a brand, why haven't you posted all of my photos that I gave you? And like, oh well, I know we've only posted one, but like, it's like, nah.
Yeah. So like it might not align, and B, it might not, like, it's the brand's creative and what they see, and it might not be the way that I would have shot it, or the brand might not completely align with, the portfolio that I'm trying to like put out and manifest. Doesn't mean I don't like shooting it. Still have a bloody brilliant time and I love it. And it doesn't mean that I don't want to shoot it. It's just like I'm very particular about how I'm curating my portfolio and what people see when they follow me.
That's a good point, because I do think that we all get into this thing of where we post almost every single project when it's finished.
You do when you
and
start
it's like you do. But eventually you kind of go, probably not a good idea to post this again. Like if you have like a recurring client, for example, your entire Instagram will just be like that one client's projects, basically. So yeah, I really like how and also you mentioned that thing about the lighting. You might be on a project where you only get to use a certain type of lighting in a certain studio once, and then you're like, oh, I'm probably never going to use this setup again. Whereas if you do personal projects, you can specifically go out to be like, right, I'm going to hire the studio, rent this lighting, and then you can experiment with that. So the next time you are in that situation, you'll know like a little bit more about that. So you don't want just that one opportunity from the shoot.
You can really push your style onto the images. So like there's clients I have that I love working with that I might not post very much, but that's because they want it edited in a certain way, right? So they have a grade that matches their brand and it feels more like them. And I would have edited it I'd have cropped it differently, I'd have composed it differently, I would have edited it far more aggressively, but they would never want that because it doesn't line up with their thing. And that's absolutely fine. I'm providing a service for them. They're happy, I'm happy, cool. But when you do a personal project and it's like you can really sink your teeth into it and create it the way that you want to create it. I would go as far as saying like 80% of the stuff that I shoot doesn't like get shown on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And I remember in a mentoring session once that really shocked someone and they were like, oh, whoa. And I think probably a lot of people don't know that, but that's why like a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing like or that I'm posting, like if I look on my page, it's, the top 3 things pinned to my top of my page are all personal shoots.
Yeah.
From this year. Like the rugby one's personal, the Bows one's personal, the On one's personal. The Prem Rugby final isn't obviously a personal project, that was commercial work. Puma was not personal, but the motorcyclist was, the footballer was, like all this stuff is personal projects. And clients have got in touch with me off the back of seeing them and being like, we want something like this,
Yeah.
Anywho, let's move it on. I don't want this to be about, personal projects because I understand that I harp on about that enough. Today's show is all about getting over the winter slump, getting back on your horse, and I kind of want to delve into this topic of when the season shifts because I feel like I'm feeling it at the moment. Motivation is a bit up and down. Some days I really feel up for it. Other days I feel really meh and like I feel groggy. And the days are getting shorter, it's getting dark at like 4 p.m. And I struggle with it. Every year this happens. Yaz was saying the other day, this happens to you every year. We get into November and you start to feel meh and you get in your own head and blah, blah, blah. So I would like to talk about it on the show, ways of kind of counteracting that and how to get through winter as a creative. I did a little reel about this and I want to kind of expand it further on the show, but also we've got some talking points that we can go over, about how, feeling guilty when you lose motivation because I'm really bad for that. And, how to recognize that it's a season of rest and reviewing and all that kind of stuff. So we all know I struggle with this. Would you say you struggle with it, Cameron, or not really? I feel like you don't as much.
I wouldn't say I do as much, but my schedule for when I would be creative changes a little bit. So I usually say like I'm really good in the morning, and then I would say maybe between 1 and 4 I'm pretty useless. So then I won't do anything between those hours, and then maybe around 4 or 5 I'll go again.
Right.
But obviously, since it starts getting dark earlier, I think I might actually be a bit better at just having like 7 till 4 of the complete day. It's like, oh yeah, I can just keep going because then it turns dark at 4, so it's like, well, I'll be good for that anyway. So, I don't know, man. At the minute, like getting up at 7 a.m. every day, no matter what, like I don't have like any reason to get up at 7 a.m. I just do. So it doesn't matter whether it's dark or it's daytime or whether I've got to go to the gym or I don't or whatever. That's been really helpful to just have like this time to get up and time to go to bed, regardless.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say I struggle with it quite as much as like the weather. I think the weather is like a big one. If it's cloudy outside and it's dark, then it's like, damn. But today is sunny, but it's still like brisk and cold. But like I feel just a bit more like, yeah, the sun's out. Like, and I'm not in the sun.
Better. It feels better, doesn't it? I think
like,
just having that light come through your window, like look how lit I am at the moment. That's all sunlight. I haven't seen that in like a week and a half, man. Like it's been so grey, and obviously we had the storm. Is it Storm Claudia? That hit.
I don't know. They name like all these storms like that.
Mate, like it hit us really bad. We had like over a month's rainfall in like one night, and like we had flooding and all sorts around here, like in the East Midlands. So we had a lot of rain.
This really got in the way of Matt's creativity.
It has not. But yeah, so I want to break it down. So I'm going to go through a few little tips and tricks, and me and Cam will kind of go off the back of them of how I think the things that speak to me on getting through a tough winter as a creative. I think number one is having a good creative space. So, I'm lucky and Cam's lucky that we're in a situation where we've got our own home office. We've got a room dedicated to doing our creative thinking, our creative work. Not everyone's that lucky. In London, it was just like a tiny desk at the end of the bed.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, I do want to jump on that. I think this is the first time that both of us have been in this position. And, like we've been in the industry for like 8 years. But when you're in London, it's almost like not an expectation to have anything like this. Like it was just a desk next to your bed and like one monitor, and you just plug your laptop into it. And even then it was like, it took ages to get the desk there. And I do think that that's such a, now this is the first time for me where I've had an office in the winter like this. And I'm like, I guess I'll find out if it's really good. But so far it seems to have been really good. But
I want to talk about a tip for winter, even if you are in London. So like, I think even if it's your bedroom and you've got a desk in your room, I think you can still try and make this like a really cozy environment. Whether it's like making sure it's clean and tidy, getting yourself like a nice candle or some incense, getting a nice lamp for your desk when it's a bit darker.
You gotta get a candle. I got one here. Like
you set the mood, set the environment. Like I love to come in, light a candle, or I know people like light some incense and they'll play some music and then they'll sit down at their desk with a coffee and their lamp on, and it feels cozy and it's nice, and you feel like you want like play into that. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to do that in the summer, but I 100% would do that in the winter, and it makes me feel cozy, calm, relaxed, and then I've got an environment that I want to work in. So no matter how big or small your space is, you can still get yourself like a nice lamp and a nice candle, some nice music playing. Make sure your space has got like good airflow so it doesn't feel stuffy. Obviously, if it's cold, keep it warm, but having
I don't know, you might not want
lamp, candle.
You might want to sharpen it up a bit and be like, I'm just going to open all the windows, wake me up in the morning.
But it's good though. It's good to have that airflow, and it's good for you. It's good for you. So I think having that, no matter if you've got your own home office or a tiny desk, it's possible. Also, I want to say another thing you can do is make sure you get out the house and go and work in a cafe. So there was times in London where I did this. You're not really this vibe, and I think that's because you love your monitors so much and you love your system. But as a photographer, I used to go work sometimes in Clapham in like a little local cafe. To get out the house, you interact with people then. I go into Stamford now like once every week or once every 2 weeks with a producer that I've become good friends with. She lives in the local area, and we'll just go and sit and work.
You have other friends?
I have other friends, believe it or not. And you'll find out when I get married one day. You'll be like, who are all these other people? And yeah, like on purposely, especially in winter, I'll probably try and lean into that more. And it's get in my car, going to a nice little local town, and going to sit in a cafe for the morning and just getting out of the house. So there are two ways there, I think, how changing your environment is really effective, I think, for kind of feeling like you are motivated or just feeling a bit better about the weather outside.
Yeah, it's so weird when you talk about this because I think of my experience doing this, and I honestly don't think I did anything different in London when it came to like I don't drink coffee, so I don't really go to coffee shops. Like, sit in a park on my laptop. No, like I just kind of carried on, I guess.
Yeah,
which is so weird. Now that you're talking about it, I'm like, what did I do?
I mean,
yeah,
there was a point in time where me and you both had an office space in London. So you were getting out of the house and going somewhere to work, and you had an environment that was dedicated for work.
That is a very good point, actually, where, probably for like the last 3 years in London, we had like an office space down the road. Yeah. That's a good point, actually, yeah. Maybe that filled something that I didn't realise. Maybe if I didn't have an office, I would have noticed it.
I think having an office is a game changer in the sense, like, I would love. And by the way, if there's any photographers or creatives that live in like the Stamford, Peterborough area or whatever, please let me know and reach out. It would be so cool to have like an office space or a creative space where other creatives around you like go into an office and you all work together, because like when we did have that setup in Wandsworth, it was so nice, and it really, really helped in the winter to just, even no matter how cold it was, like jump on a bus in the morning or jump on a line bike, get into the office and be there for 9 o'clock, and we're all there together. Like, oh, it's cold, and like, but you were all on the same page, and when you step into an environment that feels like work, and it's like, okay, this is a workspace. It makes such a difference, and I think that's why it's nice being in a cafe and being around other people that are there tapping away at their laptop and working. It makes you feel, in my opinion anyway, like you also want to work hard.
Yeah, you also just reminded me that we had that coffee shop just like round the corner,
nice,
we always used to do like coffee runs. And we like the group of us used to go out and just pop down to the coffee. That is very nice, actually. I think that's
good times. Like some of my happiest times in London were like in that, especially in the summers and stuff, going and sitting outside that coffee shop. So I think, well, that leads me really nicely into the second point, which is please commit, whether it's in real life or virtually, like me and Cam do. So me and Cam will jump on a video call once a week, and it's the podcast. So me and Cam catch up. So whether it's in real life or virtually, at least once a week, please go and meet up with a creative friend. Once a week, make the commitment, because having someone to talk about how you feel kind of in your creative journey right now and the work you're going through and any issues you've got with clients, honestly will do wonders for your motivation and your mindset. I promise you. And every time I jump off a call with Cameron, I feel better. Like,
same.
Like every time, like, you know, last week I called you because I had an issue with something, and I was like, I could vent to you and we could speak about it, and bits like if I was being rational or not, and like give me advice and like go back and forth. And Jack's another one of those people that I can do that with. Like, he's in Australia now, but we'll jump on a call and feel so much better after talking to him. And having those creative friends where it's like, if you can book in at a time slot once a week, it's even better if you can meet each other in person. Like, I go to Stamford, I meet that producer, go for a coffee, and you can just put worlds to right. You can chat about the industry, chat about any problems, chat about what you've been working on. But I always come away from those conversations feeling more motivated than if I'd have just sat at home and not spoken to anyone.
Yeah, and I also think if you do it on a regular basis, you have the context of where each other are in like what they're doing. So obviously, if you're talking about something, then I'll go, oh, is it probably that project you mentioned to me 3 days ago or something? Like it's very present and up to date. So
I'm
super
someone
helpful.
that likes to be held accountable. So me and Jack do this better than me and you do, because I don't like to hold you to, like, I'm not going to be a dick about it. No, but me and Jack will not be a dick about it, but Jack will be like, you know that goal that you told me you were going to do? Like, why is it not done? Like, and we'll hold each other accountable. You said you wanted to achieve this by the end of the year. Why are you twiddling your thumbs? Why aren't you committed? And me and Jack are really good at that. Like, I'll call him out, he'll call me out. And if we're not showing up, and we can, like, look, we're both on socials. We can see if we're showing up or not. We can see if we're putting out work. We can see if we're showing up on our, we're posting, we're like active, and we'll call each other out. So, you know, having different friends for different things, but it's really good to be able to have someone that you can do that with, where like, I do like to be held accountable, because it does help me personally. Not everyone's the same, but I find it really helps me.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
It's like, you know, you haven't uploaded a YouTube video in the last 2 weeks. Why not? And I'll call you out about it because you said you wanted to upload it.
Yeah, but then I would say, but I didn't. But then I would say, but I didn't set a goal specifically.
I know you
to
haven't.
upload.
But
So,
if you
however,
had,
in the new year, though, I think there'll be a few goals which I think I can specify, and then we can
Nice.
do that.
I can't wait to call you out on your shit. My favorite
You'll
thing.
have to, mate. You'll have to.
Yeah.
It'll
So
be
yeah, I
dialed
think
in.
meet virtually, meet in person. I promise you, it's going to help you so much, and will just make for a much better time. I love this whole idea of I'm so sorry for anyone in Scandinavia where if I'm butchering this, I can't remember the name of it. Is it called like Ikigai or
Ikigai?
Ikigai or what?
Yeah.
I think we're saying it wrong. But Emre, who is a researcher I work with, who lives in Copenhagen, will be shouting at me for this.
I'm sure it's Ikigai.
Yeah, people in Scandinavia lean into this thing where they go into winter and they have this concept of living where it gets darker, it gets colder, but they lean further into community, doing community activities together, like spending time together with families, and that's what that whole thing is.
I don't think this is Ikigai. Ikigai is like Japanese, like you have like a purpose that delivers value to people. You have a purpose that you also can support your family and stuff with, and yeah, Ikigai is like a completely separate thing. So let's let Matt just search it up real quick.
Yeah. Oh, what is it?
Oh no!
Really bug me. It's gonna really bug me. Haigi. That's it.
Haigi, right? Yeah. When you started mentioning Copenhagen, I'm like, I'm pretty sure Ikigai's Japanese, bro. Why
I'm so sorry for all my Scandi people. It's actually pronounced Huga.
Okay.
I think Uga or Huga or Yoga, something like that. Anyway, but it's spelled Hygge. Okay. Anyway, it's Danish. Is a word in Danish and Norwegian that describes a cozy, contented mood evoked by comfort and conviviality. I can't say that word. So it's like a set of practices that they use, and like it's all about like, you know, community, like, and leaning into roots and socializing and stuff. When it gets colder,
it's part of the culture. It's like dialed in.
It's part of their culture, but they lean into that culture when it gets darker and colder, and I love that about their culture. Obviously, when I went to Copenhagen, I absolutely loved their way of living, and I think that it's really, we can learn a lot from them, you know. So like some examples of high activities would include lighting candles, reading a book, drinking hot beverages, like all these like mindful self-care things, creating a cozy atmosphere, connecting with others in person, enjoying time outdoors in seasonal activities, like all of these things that are saunas and all that stuff that they're known for. They're really, really good at it. So 1,000%, I think creating that environment and doing that with the people that you love and the people that are also in our industry is going to be massively beneficial. Next question. I think it's a great time of year to experiment with different formats. Did I say next question? Next point. To experiment with different formats. So, you know, this time of year, you might feel creatively drained. A really good way is maybe experimenting with a new format. So for me, that was picking up a Polaroid camera, which is over my shoulder here. I remember buying this camera one winter and fell in love with this new way of shooting. And that really helped me get through kind of that winter period where I didn't feel very creative, because it gave me a new way of shooting. And pardon me, all of a sudden I wanted to go out and shoot friends and family, like take Polaroids of people. And it gave me that spark back for creation again. So maybe is it like getting yourself a little film camera and having to play around with that? Is it getting a Polaroid camera? Is it, you know, only shooting black and white for 2 weeks and seeing what you can create? And, you know, playing around with the formats, I think, is a really good idea.
Yeah, I usually shoot on like an FX6 or an FX9, and this year we've got a Sony A7C II, I think it is. And that's like such a small camera. And now, if you watch one of my recent YouTube videos, like I have the camera on top of the door and I have it like attached to my shelf, and like I couldn't attach that to an FX6. So all of a sudden, like there is that experimentation there, and I think that's really helpful to make you realize that, I don't know, like you're almost like pushing skills that you always probably did, but like, I mean, having the idea about it and then actually doing it is two different things.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it definitely kind of like helps to have like a new format and a way of doing the same thing again. So yeah.
I think I also want to talk about kind of the guilt that comes with losing momentum, and like why that guilt is actually kind of a signal. Because I'm really bad for this, right? I think I've obviously had such a productive year and I've been really on it this year. It's probably the most effective I've been any year that I've done this as a career. And when there's those days where I don't feel like I've been productive, or I feel a bit meh, or I'm lacking this motivation, I feel really guilty about it. And I'm like,
You
I'm
blame
properly,
yourself.
yeah, it's like, fuck,
Mm.
like I wasn't at my desk, and I wasn't at my desk by 9 o'clock, and I wasn't working. And, or it gets to lunchtime and I look how productive I've been this morning. I'm like, and I feel so guilty about it. And then that eats me
Mm.
up instead of just like letting it go and relaxing and being like, look, understanding that we're in a fortunate position where we set our own time and we set our own boundaries. So as long as my list gets done by the end of the day, it doesn't matter if I start at 3 p.m. and finish at 9 p.m.
Mm.
Like there is that flexibility there for you to have to do that. Or as long as the tasks are done that you need by the end of the week, if you have a day that's off and it's not right and you feel meh, instead of leaning into it and accepting it, like I get really guilty about it. And then I'm like, I'm not being as efficient as I should be. And I've really struggled with that. I never used to be like that, and you did, and I feel like we've switched, and now I feel really guilty, and I think
Uh,
it's just because
I feel like I'm on the other side of it. So when you're saying it to me, I feel like the wise one where I'm like,
well, I think it for me it's
Yoda,
just because
Yoda is here, kind of thing to
yeah,
listen.
I think it's just because there's so much I want to achieve, and I feel like I'm really on a time schedule now.
Mm.
Like I feel
Yeah.
really tight on time. So there's a sense of urgency
Mm.
and a sense of panic, but that I think directly causes guilt when you don't have those
Mm.
days where you do feel really on it, or you have had an amazing,
Yeah,
or haven't had an
I think
amazing
that's
day.
completely normal. Though. I also think that that's probably what helps keep you on track as well. Because like when you know that it's possible and you're capable of doing that, and then when you do have like a bit of a slower time, um, but I was also going to say like I think I just see things more on like a longer horizon now, where like imagine if you're going to be doing this for like the next 10, 20 years or whatever. Who cares if you have a day off?
Yeah,
Or
no,
like
no, no, yeah, for
no, no,
sure,
no,
for
no.
sure.
But I don't mean like a day off, but I mean like yeah, I think it's expected. I've got it written down there about like the season of rest versus the season of building, and I think like through the year you have like I think January and February is like known as being like quieter in general in the industry, and
Mm.
then kind of on the back end of the year like December or November is usually my Novembers are usually really busy, but the Decembers are pretty like you might do like 2 or 3 projects or whatever, and then like small ones or something.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I think, but then if you're like where you are at the minute, where you're really like making the most of every single day, when it gets to a quiet period, it's like you've almost got so much energy to like do stuff.
yeah,
So I don't know. Yeah,
it's a
like
tricky
it's
one, and I think there's
mm,
that like, yeah, coming back to that season of rest, season of building. In my head, I'm like, I want to work as hard as I can until the 19th of December, and then I'm gonna have 2 weeks off for Christmas,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's that, and that's the end. And once that's done, like I can relax, and then,
mm,
but that's hard because then you feel guilty about relaxing now because you know that you're gonna have 2 weeks off for Christmas. Do you
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
and I think it's like I want to work as hard as I can and push as hard as I can towards the end of the year, but
It's also
you
the
know,
final push of the year as well, right?
but it's also leaning into
Mm,
understanding that inspiration is going to change at times throughout the year. And there's going to be more days where I feel less motivated and a bit meh because of the weather and because it's dark and cold and rainy and gloomy compared
mm.
to in the summer when it's light until 10 p.m. It's light at 5 a.m. Like it's sunny outside, it's hot. I've got daylight, I feel great and I've got
Yeah.
energy. And I
Mm.
think it's also accepting that there's going to be days where I do feel like that. Um,
Also, if you think about like you might have like a really, really busy, worky, hard period, say like in the summer, but
mm,
you've done when you actually span it out over the year, you've actually done a lot of your work
yeah,
for the year in that season.
yeah.
And so, just because you have like a quieter season or like a more chilled out season later on, whether it's energy levels or whether it is actual work, it's almost like oh well, I had like a really fucking good summer, so it's kind of like balancing itself out now, and that's okay,
Yeah, but
you
part of me
know.
is just like, just because you had a good summer doesn't mean you slack in the winter.
Well, I'm
Do
not
you know what I
saying
mean?
slack. I still
No.
obviously I'm not saying play video games or something, but I just mean
Yeah,
like still you'll do other stuff like do your social content or you know.
yeah. And I
Mm,
think because every day is so different, it's almost like I want a week just working at home so I can really get into a rhythm. And I find a
mm.
rhythm, and then before I know it, it's like I've got to go to London, I've got to go to Manchester, and I've got to
Yeah.
go the day before to be there for the early call time and this and that, and then it
Mm,
throws everything off.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you lose that kind of rhythm and pace again. But that's where I think it comes back down to discipline and how discipline you're willing to be. And I struggle with that at times, like because the days change so much, it's hard to really pin something down that you can replicate day in day out.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
almost
find
like
that hard.
energy in itself to keep things held together,
Yeah,
technically.
yeah.
Yeah. I get that. I completely. And also other people that are listening will understand that as well.
Yeah.
Or will be trying to do it.
Yeah. No, it's a strange one. But I think coming on to our final point, and me and Cam were saying this is something we want to do at the end of the year, but like this time of year, as we get towards December, is like it's a time to revisit your systems. So looking back at your year, you know, is your marketing strategy working correctly? Is your invoicing system working the best it can? Like, is there a better way for me to do outreach to clients or find new clients or follow up with clients post shoot? Like reviewing your systems. And I think me and Cameron said it'd be really good to do 2 episodes at the end of this year. One reviewing the year we've had, and maybe we sit and review the year together and look at get some pointers and some questions and really break down the year, so we can see, you know, what went well, what didn't go so well, and then I think we do a separate episode where we plot our goals for 2026. You know, and kind of go through that process, because I think that'd be really cool for us to do, because then we can hold each other accountable and call each other out because we're aware of our goals. You know, like at the start of the year, me and Yaz sat down on New Year's Eve and plotted our goals, and we'll probably still do that, but it'd be good for me and you to talk through what the work goals are and what we want to do in our industry and our career, and kind of speak those and see where we can go with that, you know? So
yeah, I think that'd be good as well. It'll be good, at least from my perspective, with having almost like an off year, like I've switched off, and then coming back, it's almost like I don't have my things are very general at the moment. So having specific stuff, it might be like, whoa, like you tell me I've got to do this every day.
Yeah, I think it'll be beneficial for you for sure.
Yeah. I think it'll be. So I'm looking forward to that, man.
Yeah. But no,
I can't remember what was the last thing that you just said a second ago about?
We're just reviewing systems.
Oh, the reviews. Yeah. I wanted to touch on, I think as well, like through the year you notice things, and sometimes it can be really difficult to not want to fix them then. So in this November, like December, when you get towards the end of the year, that's when you can be like, that fucking invoice thing that I wanted to fix 6 months ago, I can finally fix it. Because back then you might have been wasting time technically fixing it straight away because it might not have been that big of a deal. But now you can refresh things, you can kind of like get rid of those. So like, for example, I noticed that a lot of people this year, we just sound mixed some projects and stuff like that. And I noticed that it's not a big thing, but they didn't have like an actual email address anymore. They just had like @gmail.com. And I was like, wow, like people seem to have like downscaled or like, you know, with Frame.io, for example, I used to have like the team version and have like all these things and need all this stuff. And now I'm like just using the free version. Yeah. And you only get like 2 gigs of storage, but I can upload a project. When the project's done, I'll just take it down, save it on a hard drive, and then I'll just upload the next project on there. And like you almost go too far, and then like you then take it back, and you're like, right, I only need to pay like £5 a month for this, not 50. Yeah. And it's really good to dial that back and dial it all in.
I think it's just getting your house in order, isn't it? So like,
you're just making
I've
the use
got
of
pinned
everything.
in my emails at the moment my insurance for my company, and it's like they were asking some questions like, you know, is this still your company name? Is your cover still the same? Are you working internationally? Like, and all these things, and it's like, like I really need to set 2 hours aside and go through my insurance papers and just make sure everything is in order. And it's like little tasks like that, do you know what I mean, that are like, I need to do that, and right now I feel like there's too much going on, but at the end of the year when I can get my house in order, it'll be like, you know, whether it's your accounts with your accountant, whether it's sorting your camera insurance out, all these things that are like, okay, I've got the time, and I've got this couple of week period where I can, you know, you might just take a week and call it house in order, and it's like insurance, doing your accounts, updating your website, like putting new work on your website, all this shit that it's like, oh fuck, I need to review all that and do that.
Yeah. And also the optimizations and stuff change based on the context. So there would have been, say, like a year ago maybe, where you was like, oh yeah, like I need this is great, it's done. And then a year later you might be like, why do I still have this? Like, I'm not even needing it, but it must have been really, really relevant back when you got it. So yeah, it's 100%. Good to clean house. Technically.
It is. Yeah. Clean house. I love that. Right. I think we wrap up the show there. Guys, if you made it this far, we appreciate listening. I think in the next episode, we're going to start this listeners. We haven't decided a name on it yet, but like I put a story up on our Instagram, and it basically just said, look guys, if there is any questions that you guys have, any things you're going through in the industry, please drop us a message, leave it on the story, because we want to every week answer one question or discuss one like it's kind of like an agony aunt, like ringing in saying like you've had something that's happened and we discuss it and how we would react in that scenario. We keep it anonymous, obviously, but it'd be good to have a segment just baked into every episode each week where you guys feel a little more involved. And so please send over your questions or any scenarios, whatever you want. You can either send it to me, Cameron, the podcast page, reply to our story, and we will start answering them week by week because I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Sweet. So that'll happen as of next week.
Watch us get something just so out of pocket, and we're like, "You're on your own, bro.
Mate,
You're on your own." Like we have no idea.
I want the weirdest story. I want juicy shit. So let's go for it. But yeah, guys, if you made it this far, thanks so much for listening. We appreciate you. We hope you have a wonderful week as we enter mid-November and keep getting after it. And if you're also feeling the winter slump, you are not alone. And maybe put some of the things we said into practice, and I promise you'll start to feel better. But also, don't guilt trip yourself because I'm doing that and it's not fun. It's not healthy.
Yeah.
Allow it, absorb. Sit in it and just push forward and do things that are going to help.
Yeah, allow it.
And yeah, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our newsletter. It's in our Instagram bio. Every week we do 3 things we've loved this week. We do give away a creative of the week, and we let you know what's happening in the latest show. So yeah, have a good week, Cam. Let's hope these shoots go well. Hope you have a good week on Blender. Let me know what you work on. Can't wait to see your next YouTube video.
Thanks, bro. I can't wait to hear about your shoots as well, and your time in Manchester. Where you won't see me because
I'm not coming to Blackpool.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, bye guys.
Bye guys.